everybody, welcome to another live stream. Hope this one finds you well. So we got busy. We got an interesting evening ahead of us. So I hope you're all seated and are feeling comfortable, because we're going to make you uncomfortable. That's the main purpose of my live stream, actually, to make as many people as uncomfortable as possible. So I'm gonna explain what I mean by that. Don't worry. But first, what I need you to do is, just as we as we go through this one, folks, we're going to be watching. Initially, the stream will move part halfway, about 20 minutes through. Yeah. So you're going to see this message come up about 20 minutes. If you want to keep watching the live stream, you got to follow me over on brand new tube, and the links are down below. You just have to hit the link in 20 minutes or so, and you can follow me across there. And why might this be? Well, I'll tell you why this has to be. There are some things we can't talk about on the YouTubes. So because we can't talk about them, that doesn't mean we won't talk about them. It means we have to find somewhere to talk about them. And brand new tube, and hopefully then following Odyssey as well, will be opportunities for me to talk about stuff which I think you want to hear, but we can't talk about unless it's in code on this channel. I don't want to speak in code. I've always spoken plainly, and I intend to continue to speak plainly. So I hope that's clear, folks. So we will chat as normal here in YouTube and on Facebook. And if you're watching in brand new YouTube, hi, by the way, if you're watching me over there. But after, I'll tell you when. And at that point, folks, I'm going to end the stream here in YouTube. And you've got a choice to follow me over on the brand new YouTube, or to miss the more incendiary commentary, which is going to be coming up in about 15, 20 minutes or so. So how does that sound? Does that sound like a deal? Well, I hope so, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And, and this is, as I said, this is the sign of things to come. This is how it's going to be, folks, because we need to discuss stuff. And unfortunately, we just can't discuss some things on the YouTube, Facebook platforms. There you go. Not my choice, but that's how it is. So without further ado then, obviously, if you are watching this, by the way, on YouTube, do give it a thumbs up. If you're watching it on Facebook, we'll do this thing. So whilst we're on these tyrannical platforms, give it a thumbs up on YouTube if you like it. Make sure you do subscribe. And similarly in Facebook as well, like it and share. All the the links are down below if you want to find me on these other platforms, most particularly brand new YouTube and BitChute. And those are the platforms to find me on. So is that all clear? Hope I'm not confusing you. Give it the thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. The algorithms like the thumbs up, apparently. So give it the thumbs up. And don't forget, on altnewsmedia.net/donate, that's where you can go if you think this is worthwhile, and drop £1 in the hat. I mean, what's the point? You go into Starbucks and you spend, or some god-awful coffee shop, and you spend £5 on a coffee, and you're getting this for £1. So, okay, so let's see. There are a few comments here. Stu says, let me just bring Stu's. I already follow you on YouTube, but I don't get notifications. I reckon brand new tube, Stu, doesn't have the swishness of YouTube, so it probably isn't able to do that. Good evening, by the way, Joe Cool as well. Good to see you. Chris Davis, good to see you. I thought you were Italian bound. Why are you on the stream live from Italy? That's what we need to know. Where is your current status, Chris Davis? So that's what we're going to do. This is the experimental. Oh, Sunday. Chris is leaving the UK on Sunday. Oh, right. Now, having said that, there are some things I want to go through with you. And by the way, folks, if you're watching this in replay, because I know a lot of you do, then do make sure as well that you give it a thumbs up, or whatever mechanism is available. Okay, well, look, we're here to talk stuff. So let's talk about Wales going full communist. Yeah? What am I talking about? David, have you been getting too much sun? No, I haven't been getting too much sun. And yes, greetings, ultra compliant Donegal. Actually, Mr. Joe Cool, just FYI, there is a gathering in Benone, on Benone Beach tomorrow, World Freedom Alliance against lockdowns. And I was at the last one. I can't be at this one. But you can see Donegal from that beach, actually, by the way. So if you know where Benone is, I think 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, there's a gathering of people there. But we better not talk about it because it might only upset the people on YouTube's. Right, Wales, communism. Let's have a look at this story. This one amused me. Yeah, Wales is to launch pilot universal basic income scheme. Now, I don't think that means a basic income scheme for pilots, although given the way the aviation industry is, I guess it's conceivable, isn't it? It could be for pilots, but more likely it's the Welsh, and this is the socialists in Wales, or run by Drakeford. They've been desperate for the last several years to introduce UBI. This is the, oh, by the way, if we just look at the absolute state of the person, Jane Hutt. I wonder if she related to Jabba. Anyway, this is Jane Hutt, yeah? And Jane, who's a big pal of Mark Drakeford, that's the social worker who runs Wales these days, by the way, apparently to the broad acclaim of the Welsh people. She's going to bring in UBI. So if we can just scroll up, folks. What the hell is going on? Jojo Gizmo. Hi, Jojo says, what the hell is going on with the TAFs and the jocks? Well, we're going to talk about it. Stick with me, Jojo. I'm going to explain this to you. So, yeah, so Drakeford, the social worker, has told Jabba the Hutt that she's going to have to introduce the pilot scheme. And here's the bit. Under a UBI system, every citizen, regardless of their means, receives regular sums of money for life to cover the basic cost of living. Its proponents, there you go. What about that one then, eh? Oh, let's read a bit more because this is all relevant. Its proponents argue that it can alleviate poverty and give people time to retrain and adapt to changing workplaces, to be more creative and become more active and engaged. Honestly, this is the absolute garbage that these people push forward. And so in the build-up to the elections we've just seen, a group of activists, aka commies and Marxists, researchers and citizens asked candidates to sign a pledge. Something's happened. I think the communists must have got us. A pledge promising to put pressure on governments to launch trials. They've been at this, let me tell you, they were doing this back in 2018 as well in Wales. So this is the next bit that's relevant. In principle, the idea of universal basic income has its benefits. Well, no, it doesn't. It doesn't have any benefits that would work in a capitalist society. But it's got lots of benefits if you lived in, say, North Korea. It would have lots of benefits if you lived in China. It would have lots of benefits if you lived perhaps in the old Soviet Union. And therefore, Drakeford has gone in an interview on Friday with Greatest Hits Radio. Gosh, he really hits all the big channels, doesn't he? Greatest Hits Radio. He's keen to move forward with this one. Yes, Chris Davis, I see your question, but I will get to you. But I wanted to have my say in this one. So just so we're all absolutely clear in this one, because I know some people think UBI, it sounds good. Yeah, free stuff. They want to give you money, and in exchange for that, you have to do nothing but conform to comply and go along with what the government says. Oh, that reminds me of something. Oh, yeah. Well, we'll not talk about Klaus Schwab because we're on YouTube and Facebook, but it kind of reminds me, I think I've heard this idea before. People can just be paid to sit at home and do nothing. And it's like we've been in training for that for the past, 14 months? Or at least a lot of people have. Here where I live, there's been 100,000 people basically sitting at home, doing nothing, getting income. It's called furlough, and furlough can morph very easily into universal basic income. So, someone, Jezza says here, if UBI becomes to Britain, I will resign and live off the state. Well, you see, no, they can shove their free money because here's the thing. To get it, Jezza, You're going to have to do what they want. You're going to have to conform. This is how it is in China. This is how it works. So they lure you in with, oh, free money, free money. And people go, well, that sounds a good deal. And then, but that depends on things like, for example, your social score. So if you're bad people like you lot, and you come on to YouTube or Facebook or brand YouTube or wherever the hell I'm at, well, that might seem to be a kind of mark against you. So instead of getting your full UBI, you might get 90% of it. And then if you actually dare to tweet something or parlay something or gab something that they don't like, that might knock another 5% off it. And that's how it works. So this is a honey trap for the extremely gullible. And that's as simple as that there. So that's what UBI. Naturally, the Welsh want it because they seem to love Mark Drakeford, which is beyond description, because the guy is he's the most uninspirational guy. You know, I mean, if I was in a lifeboat with Mark Drakeford, I would jump and swim for it and take my chances. So UBI, yep, this is the road to techno-communism, sort of. Maybe communism is not the right word, but it's for the state to control what you do, and it will pay you a little bit of money to do that. But it will own you, it will control you, and you'll be happy. Have you heard that before? Right, so that's the Welsh anyway. That's me. Now, I wanted to answer, I meant to say this actually. In all the news that's been breaking in the past couple of hours, just bring this one up from Chris here. What do you think about the new DUP leader? Do you know him? Yes, I know him, Chris Davis. Sadly, for my sins, I know most of them. Do I wish I did know them? Well, that's a different question. But anyway, I was hoping that Edwin Poots would become the new leader of the DUP. And the reason for that is that Poots, for all his drawbacks, and they are leading, is still a better proposition than smooth-talking Sir Jeffrey Donaldson. So I always thought that Poots would win it. Can't remember if I put that out there, but trust me, I did. And I'm actually surprised that the contest was as close as it was. But most definitely, this is, if you like, the Paisley wing of the DUP, sort of, surging to the fore again. So that's what Jojo says. If they judge me in what I post in Gab, I'd owe them money. Hey, Jojo, if they judge me in what I post in Gab, I'd be in prison. Well, maybe that's exactly what the digital prison is, where we're all headed, actually. So that's a DUP result. So I'm quite pleased about it. Be interesting to see how it plays out. What I expect, I mean, the BBC were pushing the other candidate, the Jeffrey Donaldson candidature. So I kind of take simple view for me, Chris Davis. If the BBC's in favour of it, I take the opposite view. It's a kind of a world, a life lesson I have come to believe in. If the BBC says go A, you're better going B. So another question. Whatever happened to Parler? Oh, Parler's what a disaster. So Parler, I got back on Parler the other day. I was just talking about this earlier, Chris. And now I can't actually log into my account because they require me to enter a verification code that's been sent to my phone, and they're not sending any verification code to my phone. So I'm not sure if any of you folks are on Parler, but if any of you are on Parler, by the way, you might ask Parler, why are they pissing off one of the, I've got 66,000 followers in Parler. You know, I'm happy to put content there, but at this point in time, I can't. So 3 cheers for Gab. Gab stayed the course. Parler, you really need to get your house in order, folks, or you're going to make people like me think it's just not worth it at all. So yeah, that's the answer to that one, by the way. Right. So drum rolling. Next one. Yeah, Kim, I think you're probably right, actually. Kim says Parler is history. I reckon it probably is, but it'd probably be better if it wasn't history. We need to be, I hope you're following me on Telegram, by the way. I do put content out in Telegram. I do put content out in Minds. I put out content everywhere but Twitter. And my friends over on Twitter miss me so much, you know. The trolls that used to infest my Twitter line, boy, they've come all the way across to YouTube. Not to Facebook, funnily enough. and to brand YouTube. I see them there, and the Rumble, and they come everywhere. They can't resist me. What a pathetic bunch. Good evening, Harry Johnson. Good to see you in the stream. Again, Kim, good to see you in the stream as well. Stu, Jojo, Chris, all you guys. James, thanks for being here with me. Right, we're going to... So, you probably got the news earlier that Boris Johnson, drum roll, was going to hold a 5 p.m. press conference with that well-known comedian Chris Whitty. So I tuned in at 5 o'clock, and naturally it didn't happen because this is Boris Johnson. So then at 5:30, the press conference was held. Bit of an anticlimax, actually, to be honest. I thought he was going to suggest that perhaps the slaughter of the firstborn would be required to stop the new deadly Indian mutant, double mutant variant. But he didn't go that far. So if we can bring up the next story, then please. So that's this is the Daily Mail. You know, so another one of those prostitute channels. Always read it and then ignore what they say. Boris presses ahead with indoor drinking and dining. Despite Sage warning the Indian variant could realistically be 50% more infectious than the Kent strain and lead to 1,000 deaths a day by summer. Wow. Just think about that for a moment. Think about that.
Good evening, guys. If you could just stick with us, it looks like David's super duper broadband has let him down again. Please stay tuned. David will be back in the next few seconds. He'll disconnect and reconnect. I'll entertain you while we wait. If you're happy with that, let me know in the chat. So, Boris Johnson tonight pressed ahead with plans for indoor drinking and dining for next week, despite Sage warning, whoa, scary Sage, that the Indian variant could realistically be 50% more infectious. Wow. I think David's back now, guys. I'll hand you back over to David.
You see how talented my producer Jed is? A man of many talents. Sorry, folks. As you know, I've got like dial-up. I haven't got broadband. I could dial up. So I'm living in about 1994, I think, from an internet connection. But yeah, so Boris, as we were saying, he didn't dash your hopes straight away. No, much more subtle than that there, because if these numbers from Sage are anything like it, then there's no way he will take the chance of releasing you from captivity come the 21st of June. And honestly, you see, if you are watching this and you think, that, yeah, I'm reading your comments, by the way. As always, the comments are what makes the stream, by the way. I love your comments. So it says, bodies lying in the street, worse than India. Listen, Kim, absolutely. Although, mind you, this is YouTube, so we've got to be careful what we say. Yeah. Hey, Jed was scaring us about the so-called Indian variant, and it's ever so deadly. It is. It's honestly, even to say it could mean instant death on YouTube. So anyway, so Boris gave us all this spiel. Chris Whitty was there with charts which essentially demonstrate that COVID, essentially, from a statistical point of view, is as low now as it was last summer. Why might respiratory diseases vanish in the summer? I don't know. I haven't worked that one out. Have you worked that out? I haven't worked that one out. James Jameson, who decided the Nuremberg Code wasn't a thing. Oh, well, you see, James Jameson, we're going to do something in a minute. I'm going to turn off in a couple of minutes, because I was off. In about 2 minutes' time, I'm just telling you now, no, in 5 minutes' time. In 5 minutes, we're going to turn off YouTube. And if you want to hear me talk full on about COVID, I want to talk about Joe Biden, then do what Jed said. Follow me over to brand YouTube. The stream will continue over there. The difference is I can actually speak my mind over there. Whereas here, we have to be a little bit careful what we say. So Bexby says, hi Bexby, by the way, nice to see you. Thought the announcement must have been a non-event as I haven't heard anything. It was a non-event. Claire is right, by the way. It looks like I would say September, maybe a complete shutdown, probably September. That would be my best bet. The Billy Piper, always good to see you on the way, by the way. Some great comment. Stu Frost says, hey June, take a sad day and make it better. Well, of course, I don't know what. Listen, you're not going to be getting your freedom back, I don't believe, on June the 21st. And here's the thing. If you have to ask to get your freedom back, you're not free. Simple, no-brainer. So Simon says, by the way, are you broadcasting on it now? So we'll move there now. I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm on it there at the moment, Simon. I'm actually on brand YouTube at the moment, but it's just I can talk about stuff over there, and I'm not gonna be able to talk about it here. So that's why I'm giving everyone due warning. And you've got 3 minutes time. We're gonna be shutting down YouTube. We're gonna be shutting down Facebook. We're gonna be going to brand YouTube. We're gonna be showing a video about Joe Biden. We're gonna talk about something he said today. We're gonna talk about where we're really going with COVID. All these things we are gonna be talking about. So what you guys need to do is take the plunge, turn off YouTube in a couple of minutes, because look, I've told you this before. YouTube is the enemy. Facebook is the enemy. They don't want people like me on it. They don't even want people like you on it, actually. As long as it's kind of bland, anodyne content, then yeah, they'd take you for that. That's okay. But yeah, so back to the story here. Boris is telling the public to use their common sense. That's not going to be happening. But did you see, just before we go, the last couple of things I thought was really interesting that Boris was saying was, well, because of this dreaded, double mutant or triple mutant or quadruple mutant Indian variant, I'm not sure. Because of it, they're going to be sending up squads of I think the British Army are going to, is it Bolton? Good luck with that one. British Army's going up to Bolton to hand out test kits to everyone. They've got an army of vaccinators going up there. They're going to fast track the vaccinations to the 50-year-old and over to get their second vaccination. And they're offering younger people the vaccine as well. I'll talk about that when we go on to brand YouTube, because I don't think that's just a coincidence. Thanks, by the way, for those who are now leaving. Good. Go across to brand YouTube. Stephen, yep, I get your... Yeah, Stephen makes a really good point here. Yep, I saw that. Can't talk about it here on YouTube, though, because they don't want to hear about stuff like that. So Boris's press conference, anticlimax, blah, blah, blah. Folks, really what he's doing is he's setting the scene. That's what it's called, setting the scene. Joe Cool says, I'm getting a lot of buffering on BNT. Yeah, it's probably not going to be as cool as, maybe just I don't know, turn off the, just listen to the audio on it, Joe. I don't know how, I'm not technical. I don't understand why it buffers. No doubt Jed can explain things like that. Anyway, so Boris's big non-event, but the US president talked about something that was really interesting, and I'm going to play it in a second, and then we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about what Boris is I think really up to and where this country's headed. So Saab 900 says, where is brand YouTube? Just go below in the description. Saab 900s. Hit the link. You'll see there's a David Vance, brand YouTube, David Vance. Click it, and it takes you to the over to the channel, to the live stream. So look, folks, 9 seconds and counting. I'm saying bye-bye YouTube, bye-bye Facebook, but I'm going back onto brand. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on brand YouTube. Join me there. Make the jump, and let's get ourselves free and uncensored. So shall we do that? Shall we try that one? So hopefully, whatever technically, to continue watching this live stream, follow me on brand YouTube. The link's down below. Right. So I think I'm still on brand YouTube. So if I am on brand